Ali Hassan, one of my favorite comedic actors, stand-up hosts on radio, and all of these magnificent fun things that you do.
Yes, thank you.
No, darling, you're in my top 3.
Woo!
But which one of those 3 you are, 1, 2, or 3, is something I'll never tell you.
Tell me where I rank on your top 3.
Well, you know, now that you did that, that's become like a whole other show.
Is it? That's what I was supposed to do here.
Darling, you can do whatever you like.
Right.
We don't judge here at Open Chest with Raj GIRN. But you know, on a serious note, I do want to ask you, you've got so much going on. There's a lot on your plate. You were on, you know, the hour for, how many episodes was it? Like over 100 episodes?
165, but who's counting? I mean, I don't.
I mean, that's insane. Now, who gets to do the kind of things that you've gotten to do? Not many people, especially not in our community, especially not in Canada.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have to leave Canada, especially in the comedic realm, but you're still here.
Yeah.
You're still in Canada.
Nobody else wants me.
Talk to me. I don't think that's the case. So talk to me about how you navigate through all this process. You just got so much on your plate.
Yeah. It's I have friends who agonize. When I say friends, I mean colleagues who are comedians who agonize about, I got to get to New York, I got to get to LA, I got to do this. And I think I became more content with where I am. You know, there's this story of like, sometimes you look in your own backyard and you find you've been living on top of a diamond mine the whole time, but you went searching across the world for riches. So I really approach Canada like that. I feel like there's a place for me here. I've been lucky to just have opportunities come to me that I didn't even know existed. I didn't even know that I would ever be in acting.
I have to stop you there, because I don't believe that these opportunities just came knocking. I know that you are a dedicated, hard work kind of guy. Even, you know, jokes aside and everything, you know, I know that you worked for every single opportunity that you've gotten.
That's true.
And you know, you throw in a dash of luck. We all have a dash of luck.
Yeah.
Right? So let's be honest about that story.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. It's difficult to take a moment to be, you know, humble like that. I think I started comedy late.
I'm not saying you're humble, darling.
Oh, good. Thank God. I was worried that, God, my reputation, please, don't ruin it. Don't soil it in the mud by calling me humble. Good. Thank God. That cocky bastard worked hard for everything. I think I did work. I started late in comedy. I started age 34. That's quite late I was surrounded by guys. And I think it helped me to be surrounded by 22-year-old, 23-year-olds who basically talked about their dick and whatever else was, you know, you joke about what you know and you don't know much at age 22.
Right.
And that spurred me on, and I came in saying, this is it. You know, I had changed my career path many times. And I also had a goal. I was like, I am going to be a chef on television. That is what I'm going to do. That's
and
why
I
I'm
remember that.
Yeah, that was the goal. And that goal continues. It's a rocky up and down roller coaster, emotional roller coaster. But in my case, you know, it's fresh. 9 years? What's 9 years? It's nothing.
You're absolutely right. And a lot of people say that, you know, a lot of people that I've spoken to, you know, like Russell Peters and a number of other artists, they say, you know, these people, like they irritate me because they think I'm kind of like, I just came out of nowhere yesterday. Meanwhile, I've been struggling for over a decade.
Sure, Russell's a great example.
Right?
Of that. Yeah.
So I get what, you know, where you're coming from, but 34, what was that moment, that fork in the road that made you say that I'm gonna take this road and not this one, which has always been the safe one for me?
If I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, I can't do it. If I could, I would have been an accountant right now, with no disrespect to accountants. That works for some people and they're critical to the operation of this world.
Absolutely.
But I just couldn't do it. And I was, you know, when I was in university, that was the plan. And I was like, no, I don't like this. Let's switch to economics. Oh, I don't like this. Switch to political science. Okay, go do my master's in marketing. Oh, I don't like this. Now I'm consulting. Oh, I'm a really bad consultant. It's all because I didn't enjoy any of it.
It's because your passion, your heart wasn't in any of it.
That's it.
But I remember you telling me, Ali, a little while ago when we chatted, and you said to me, to be very honest, Raj, I have to tell you that I feel a lot of my journey has to do with the fact that, and the why I've, you know, had a lot of success is because I've gotten that support at home with my wife.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that.
For sure.
Because that can put a lot of guilt on a guy.
Sure.
Right? I mean, you've got kids, you have the wife, and you know, you don't always know that you're going to get paid tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's the reality of the entertainment business. But you know, she just she stood by all of that because she got you, right?
Well, she married that guy, which is huge. I have friends who are like, how do you do it, man? You know, I'm thinking of getting into comedy. I'm like, what? What do you... Are you serious? You're a financial broker. You live in Markham. You have a house. You have 2 kids, and now you're thinking of getting. I wouldn't even fault your wife for being like, stop talking.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like exactly like what my mother said when I wanted to become a chef. Bakwas na kare ka. That's what I heard. I literally feel like saying that to other guys. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What an upheaval in your home. I mean, that was my goal. I knew I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to change that for anybody. So if my wife was going to marry me, she knew who she was going to marry.
Right. And that's the difference, right?
That is a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your bragging rights. Let's talk about some of the things that you've done.
I'm very virile, fertile, for one thing. I should brag about that. You're probably pregnant right now. You should have a chat with somebody when you get home about that. I have 4 kids. I'm obviously exaggerating. 2 are my stepdaughters, and the 2 boys are my own that we created in the last few years.
Yes.
But it does feel that I'm... my slap shot is quite strong, if you get what I'm saying. I don't know how this happens every time. We have so many friends like struggling to have children, and I joke about this on stage, all the poisons and toxins I put in my body. Is there nothing that can slow down a man's sperm? Apparently not.
Hey, you know what? When you live your life with passion, the sperm just makes its way to where it needs to go.
Absolutely. And again, have to thank my wife for being such a fertile field.
No, you know what it is? It's funny because, when people align, they just align. You know what I mean? They just align, And I feel a lot of the challenges we go through in life have to do with us being in an unhappy place or not being content with our current situation. And it does have effects on every single part of an aspect of our lives and who we are.
I think you know that very well as well. You can speak on it, right? You were always searching for happiness. You understand that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm still searching for happiness.
Oh yeah?
And then you think you found happiness, and then then you start second guessing it, wondering, is there another place of nirvana which is greater than the one that I'm in? Isn't this the human?
It's the human condition. That's why I stopped thinking about New York and LA.
Yeah.
And with the writing that I'm doing, I'm working on a lot of different projects, 7 different projects right now.
Right. I heard about that. Let's talk a little bit about those.
Well, my friend Dave Merhej, who I mentioned earlier, he and I have an early development deal with the CBC. Early means they've given us a green light to do a few episodes for them, and if they like it, we'll continue with those talks.
And who's fronting that bill?
CBC. We get paid for, we get paid to do stuff now.
Perfect.
Which is amazing because working with a friend on comedy, it doesn't even, like you said, at some points you're like, I can't believe we're getting paid for this.
Yeah.
We did this for 8 months with no pay, with the hope of maybe getting paid, and now we are, and it just feels great.
That's incredible.
We're working on a feature film that would go to India. Another friend of mine, these are all new friends, they're friends now, but these are guys who came to me because they had heard of me from different writing circles. Another guy who's bought the rights to a book, and I'm writing the screenplay for that, which is a very exciting experience. Another friend of mine who's a comedian is also a flight attendant, and we're writing a feature film. It's a buddy movie about 2 flight attendants.
I love it. See, this is why you've been able to garner such an eclectic portfolio of success in Canada, which is hard to do. And because at some point, the glass ceiling here is a lot lower than it is everywhere else when it comes to the entertainment business. And let's face it. But I think the key here, which I'm hearing from you, which inspires me personally, is that you don't sit there and when is that opportunity going to come knocking on my door? You're actually going out there and making opportunities happen. You are making projects come alive, right? Because at some point something's going to click. And Sakina Jeffrey, when I interviewed her, right at the point when she was really flying high with House of Cards, she said the same thing. She says that, people in our community, all they do is grumble. They complain that, they stereotype me here and they stereotype me there. But what they don't seem to realize is that the success that other cultural groups have had in the entertainment business in the West has a lot to do with the fact that they are actually producing and writing and editing and marketing and doing all of these other things to show that I'm not sitting here waiting for the guy who doesn't know who I am, who doesn't know about my culture or my community to hand me an opportunity when he doesn't even know who I am. I need to go out there, as do all of these other people in our community, to get together and show that there's an industry here that is vibrant. There's an entire, artistic, cultural group that you're missing out on. And how do you make that happen? You make those opportunities happen yourself. And
Absolutely.
I feel that's a real fundamental difference between someone like you, Ali, and a lot of other people that are sitting around waiting for the opportunity to fall on their lap.
I'm shocked at how many there are. I'm shocked at how many people just complain, I didn't get this opportunity. And I heard this once in a podcast. There's a guy, Billy Gardell, who's a comedian. He's in this Mike and Molly. He's in that show. And he was taught early on, he was about 19, and this older comedian came to Florida where he was living, and he said, listen, never waste your time hating on the person who got the gig, right? Everybody auditioned for a show and this guy got it. So many people be like, I can't believe that guy got it. And the reason you don't waste your time with that, because if he hadn't gotten it, there's absolutely no guarantee that you would have gotten it.
Absolutely.
So what are you really wasting your time with? Go create your own opportunities.
Absolutely. And that's what you've done.
Yeah, that's what I've tried to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But acting, feature films and TV, right? I've noticed that a lot of what you do in your portfolio and what you've done, historically speaking, has a lot to do with you writing stuff.
Yeah.
Like you've created a lot of, written work that's gotten out there. You're showing people in different ways that you have such an eclectic entertainment prowess.
Sure.
Right? You're not just saying, I want to be the person in front of the camera. I want to be the famous one. I want to be the one that, although, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I had, I'll tell you a story where I got burned. I'm saying it in the passive. I burned myself, to be quite honest. I got here, I married my wife in 2010. In September, the very next day, we moved here. That summer, just prior, summer of 2010, I just been in a movie called French Immersion. So I have about, 15 days on that movie. I get here, we literally drive into Toronto to my in-laws' place. I spend the night, sleep. Next day, I'm on Breakaway. That was like 13 days on Breakaway.
Wow.
Then audition GOON. And I was like, oh man, 3 movies in 3 months. Looks like I'm gonna be a movie star, everybody. Looks like, and I sat on my laurels for a bit, and I was like, the calls are just gonna come in, it's gonna be unbelievable. No calls come in. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? The movies have to come out. Of course they have to come out. What am I thinking? That I'll just let the movies come out. I'm on the red carpet for GOON, red carpet for Breakaway. French Immersion wins these little awards around North America. I'm like, here we go.
That.
Now they come in, nothing. And I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna let this happen to me again. I guess
sitting there waiting for the glory.
Sitting there waiting for it. I did it. And it's so dumb. And then I realized, I have to make comedy my anchor. I love stand-up. Through stand-up is where Kevin Tierney discovered me, who booked me in French Immersion, my first gig.
Yeah.
And stand-up is what leads to all these opportunities. I write, I practice writing. Somebody will see me, can you perform at this event? Hey man, do you write? Would you want to be part of this? So I just, even...
Can I tell you a little secret, something I haven't shared with you before, is that, of course I'd heard of your name like a number of years ago when you first came to Toronto, and I thought, oh, another person, there's like tons of them, and
You flatter me.
Right?
Yes.
So when I interview people, I kind of try to find people that, intrigue me. So, I hope, through that intrigue that there's enough chemistry between us that people watching will, find something inspiring about the person I'm talking to, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of my goal. And it wasn't until I had you at my anniversary event and you did stand up there.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, this guy is absolutely brilliant. You have amazing stage charisma.
Thank you.
I'm not going to say presence, because presence is a vague statement,
sure,
right? But you've got charisma on stage. Like you get up there and you like bang,
thank you,
right? And it was brilliant.
I will say that that's a moment where I took you said, I'll give you 5 minutes. Yes. I have a packed show, but I'll give you 5 minutes. And I said, I'm going to take that 5 minutes. I'm going to do something with it.
And you did.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
And people were laughing their heads off. I mean, it was magical. And it really changed my perspective, even on my own self, by saying, you know what, let a person do their thing first before, you know, you make any kind of judgment call on what you think of them.
Raj.
Right?
Gosh.
It's like, for heaven's sakes, woman, you're supposed to be perfect. You're not supposed to be human.
Right.
So anything at all that, you know, is going on in your world out there across the rest of 2015 into 2016 that you want to share with the viewers?
Well, I just was on a show called Man Seeking Woman, their second season. So I had a couple of days on in in their first season. So I got called back for the second season, which is great. It's a Jay Baruchel project, and it's an absolutely absurd sitcom. It's ridiculous. Like, my role as a store owner, I'm hosting a graduation ceremony for a bunch of men and women who are graduating from shitty beer to good beer. And I call everyone to the stage to present their diploma. It's an absurd sitcom, very funny. I was very happy to be on that. There's another show that I never thought I would be in kids entertainment. Even though I have 4 kids, you'd think that it would be a good fit, but that's not the way my mind was working. So this is what I mean by these opportunities come up. So there's a show called Odd Squad on PBS Kids, now on TV Ontario too, and if you have kids under 10, let's say,
they'll know about it.
What an amazing show it is. It's so good. And I have this character, Delivery Doug. I was on 3 episodes the first season. For some reason, I don't appreciate pizza. I'm an egg sandwich delivery man. That's what I make. I make egg sandwiches and I deliver them. It's a very weird character, but very funny, very fun to play. And so I just got the call, be coming back for a few days for that. So this kind of like. But
you know what it is? It's what I said to you. It's that because you've got you've got the it factor. You've got charisma. And I don't often say that, so I want you to take that as a compliment, okay?
All right.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time.
That's my pleasure.
I can't wait for all the fun things that are going to happen. You've got to come back and chat with me.
I will.
Right? Let's let the world know more of the eclecticism of your creative fabulousness. All right?
I'll look all up those words, and I'll actually be back to talk about them. Yeah. Thank you, Raj.
Thank you, my darling.
All right.